the OnePlus One, Xiaomi Mi 4, and to a lower extent the Meizu MX4. These are all phones that we've been hearing a lot about. But there is another. The ZTE Nubia Z7 Max. We really haven't been hearing a lot about it. On paper at least, the Z7 Max makes a strong case on being a decent replacement to the aforementioned devices, especially given their struggle to meet demand. So I decided to get one out for myself and test it. So now, taking into account rumors about ZTE's global expansion, is the Z7 Max a decent alternative for those unable to get their hands on a OnePlus One or a Xiaomi Mi 4? Or is there more to it than meets the eye? Well, let's find out. But before we do, if this is your first time here, or in case you've plain on forgotten, my name's Ash, this is C4E Tech, and you're watching my full review of the ZTE Nubia Z7 Max. Let's get started. So let's mix things up and start with what got me interested in the Z7 Max in the first place. It was the specs and the price and the fact that I've never reviewed a Nubia till date. That helped. Anyway, let's start with the specs. The Nubia Z7 Max is powered by a Snapdragon 801 chip, and the best one at that, the MSM8974AC. So for those of you who haven't watched my Mi 3 vs Mi 4 video, that's 4 Krait 400 cores clocked at 2.5 GHz each, coupled with an Adreno 330 GPU clocked at 578 MHz and 2 GB of RAM. As expected, the Z7 Max runs pretty much anything thrown at it, and it does that without dropping frames or lagging. The audio via the sole rear speaker is okay, not too loud, but audio via the earphones was top notch. Now what's impressive here is that the Z7 Max not only supports 2 SIM cards but has 32 GB of onboard storage with room for memory expansion via microSD. Now note that the Nubia Z7 is the flagship and the Z7 Max is the lower spec variant of the flagship. It's refreshing to see a manufacturer not cut corners here. Anyway, all this is powered by a non-user replaceable 3100 mAh battery, and the battery life is fantastic. On a looping video playback test, the Z7 Max lasted a whopping 11 hours before running out of juice. Getting through a day on a single charge shouldn't be an issue even with heavy usage. Now let's finally get to the build. To the front, on top, we've got the earpiece, sensors, a 5 megapixel camera to the right, lower below, a 5.5-inch display, and at the bottom, a circle flanked by dots on either side. These are capacitive keys with the center key doubling as a notification indicator as well. Sweet. To the back, we have a 13 megapixel rear camera with an LED flash, the secondary noise cancelling microphone, Nubia branding, and a single speaker. Up top, we have an IR blaster and a 3.5mm headphone jack. To the right, the power button and the volume rockers, the micro USB port and the primary microphone at the bottom, and we've got nothing to the left. The soft touch back is user removable, but sadly the 3100 mAh battery inside is not. But we do find 2 micro SIM card slots and a micro SD card slot here. The Nubia Z7 Max is just 8.7mm thick and weighs in at 160 grams. The soft touch back helps get a good grip. Using this phone single-handed should be an issue, but it really isn't. That's largely due to the software though. We'll talk about that in a bit. Next up, let's talk about the display instead. The Nubia Z7 Max sports a 5.5-inch Gorilla Glass 3 covered Full HD IPS LCD display, giving it a pixel density of 401 pixels per inch. Everything's sharp, the blacks are pretty deep, colors are natural, viewing angles are impressive, and it even holds up decently under direct sunlight. Now moving on to the cameras, to the back we've got a 13 megapixel rear shooter with what's fast becoming everyone's sensor of choice, the Sony IMX214 sensor. I like how the top of the camera is ever so slightly raised to protect it from scratches. I respect the attention to detail shown here. Anyway, the Z7 Max shoots very good pictures, sharp, lots of detail, natural colors, a quick shutter speed, great bokehs thanks to the wide f/2.0 aperture, and to top it all off, it even shoots 4K videos, resolves a lot of detail, and keeps the footage very stable. Impressive optics at play here. Anyway, the UI is very good. Well, it's simple enough to let you pick and shoot. The Pro mode brings with it a ton of options, depth of field detection, and even manual focus controls. That isn't something you'd commonly see in a phone. It works great. Amazing stuff. And that is a trend that we are going to be seeing here. ZTE's paid a lot of attention to detail with the UI. The Nubia Z7 Max runs on Android 4.4 KitKat with ZTE's custom Nubia UI on top. And this is one of the sweetest manufacturer overlays that I've ever seen. Right from the lock screen, everything's smooth. You get a 5x5 layout of icons on the home screen, and yes, it feels like there's a row on top that's being wasted, but that's because the Z7 Max also provides a landscape home screen orientation. Moving icons between home screens is very simple, and that's pretty important given that, like most Chinese user interfaces, the Nubia UI doesn't come with an app drawer. The fact that the circular home button is flanked by capacitive keys that are unmarked means that you can swap them if you wanted to. That means you'd have to tap and hold the home key to get to open apps. Fluid transitions, steady frame rates, you can pull down an app to lock it into memory, where you can hit this to clear the rest. Let's take a moment to talk about the one-handed mode. Yes, we've seen this being implemented in the past, but it has been implemented very well here by ZTE. With it turned on, you just need to tilt your phone to one side to activate it and tilt it back to get back to your normal usage. If you thought that was awesome, wait till you look at the split window option. Yep, split window, multi-window, Samsung's done it, which means LG's done it too. But this is again by far the best implementation that I've come across. You literally get two instances of your home screen and can launch pretty much any app that you want in either window. You can also resize the screens. Now, being a UI from a Chinese manufacturer, you obviously have a themes manager that lets you customize the look and feel. Unlike similar offerings from other manufacturers, NFC is available and so is an FM radio. It's all good. The UI is fast and smooth and makes you want to pick up and use the device. I mean, the day after I received this, I was so intrigued by the UI that I took this phone with me to Delhi for the Android One event. I'm generally very choosy on what phones I carry when I travel. It's usually the current generation of the Galaxy Note. And once I believe, for the Gioni event, I ended up taking a Mi 3, but that's pretty much it. The fact that I was intrigued enough to carry this phone on me is just a testament to the UI. I feel the UI just felt so fresh that I had to use it right then. I haven't really felt this excited about a UI since maybe the Xiaomi Mi 3 that I received in January. So anyway, with that, we get to the price. All this is great, but if it's priced too high, it doesn't really matter, and it doesn't really matter. Officially, ZTE sells this for about $325 USD, making this one of the best offerings in that price range. Yes, the Mi 4 and the OnePlus One are available at similar prices with an extra gig of RAM nonetheless, but the Z7 Max offers double the storage with memory expansion, NFC that the Mi 4 lacks, and an IR blaster that the OnePlus One lacks. And that's all if you're just looking for a solid smartphone. But let's say if you are looking for a dual SIM smartphone with top-of-the-line internals, the Z7 Max is probably the only one that you could go for. And that's even with reseller markups included. Like I mentioned earlier, ZTE has plans of bringing the Nubia Z7 to international markets. And I thought I'd let you guys know that India is rumored to be one of the first markets ZTE is going to be bringing this to. And if and when the Z7 Max launches here, you could expect it to be priced around the 20,000 rupee mark. But if you don't want to wait, or if you live in a market where ZTE doesn't have a presence, you can pick up a Z7 Max from merimobiles.com. I've had a great experience with them. They ship quick, offer good service, and if you choose to shop with Merimobiles, you could also use the discount code C4ETech to get $5 off. The value of the code and or the code itself might change in the future. If and when it does, I'll let you guys know via the description below, so make sure you check that space before you order. Anyway, like I mentioned in my last review, I will also be adding an FAQ section to the description where I'll try to answer the most frequently asked questions in the comments. So if there's anything that you are unclear about, if you feel there's something that I've missed, do check out the description, and if it's not answered there, leave a comment. I'll try to get back to you guys, or I'll try to add it to the FAQ. So I guess with that, we get to the end of this review. Hope you guys liked it. Hope you found it useful. If you did, please do give this video a thumbs up. And for more videos like this, do stay subscribed. So I guess that's pretty much it. Thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, this is Ash here from C4ETech signing off. You guys have a great day. Bye bye now.